All right, so welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're taking a look at something called 5 daily practices for a 300% life upgrade.
300%, huh?
Yeah, 300. That number, it definitely caught my eye. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, what would a 300% improvement to your life even look like? I mean, is that even possible?
Well, I think maybe that 300% figure is a little bit, maybe it's hyperbole.
Right, just to get your attention.
But yeah, exactly. But the core idea I think is definitely sound. Like making small, consistent changes, those can actually have a really big impact over time. And this piece, actually the original title's in Thai. It's 5 Pakunati Tutanati 200%. I hope I'm pronouncing that somewhat correctly. But yeah, that's essentially what it's all about. Like giving us a framework to make those small changes, that can hopefully lead to some big improvements.
I love it. So we're going to ditch the marketing speak. We're going to deep dive into the actual 5 practices, pull out some good stuff that we can maybe apply to our own lives.
Yeah.
And the first one that really jumped out at me was review your to-do list daily. So we've all made to-do lists before, check things off as we go.
Mm-hmm.
But this seems to be talking about something a little bit deeper than that.
Yeah. It's really about like taking that to-do list and using it as a tool for reflection. So not just like, did I get it all done or what do I have left to do, but actually looking at it and saying, what did I accomplish today? What were the obstacles that I ran into? How can I maybe avoid those obstacles tomorrow? So really using it as a way to kind of like continuously learn and improve. And the piece even mentions, asking yourself specific questions as you're going through it. Like, what did I learn today? What am I grateful for? What could I have done better? How can I improve tomorrow? So, it's really about taking that to-do list, which a lot of us already use, and turning it into a tool for growth.
I love that. It's like you're using your to-do list as a feedback loop
Exactly.
for your productivity.
Yeah.
I love it. But honestly, I'm going to be totally honest, sometimes even making the to-do list in the first place is a struggle for me. So I'm thinking reviewing it every day might be, a high bar for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can reach that level.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. But the source material actually emphasizes that even just a quick 5 minutes a day, just 5 minutes of reflection, it can make a really big difference. And it's about building that habit of self-awareness. And, this kind of ties into another one of the practices that they talk about, which is always learn and develop yourself.
Right.
So it's all kind of connected.
That's the next one on the list. And that's huge for me. And what I love is that they talk about it doesn't have to be this formal thing. Like, oh, I got to, go back to school and get another degree.
Right. Like, it could be something as simple as picking up a new skill from a YouTube video, or even just like paying more attention to what your colleagues are doing and trying to learn from them. Just being open to constantly learning and growing.
Absolutely. It's about cultivating what they call a growth mindset. So believing that you are capable of constantly learning and developing.
Yeah.
And that's so important, especially in today's world. Things are changing so rapidly.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually just reading a report from the World Economic Forum. They list complex problem solving and critical thinking as the top skills that are going to be needed in the future. And those are skills that you can really only develop if you're continuously learning.
Right.
So it's not something you can just like check off the list and be done.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
it's an ongoing process.
Yeah. It's definitely a journey. It's not a destination. So, speaking of learning, the next practice on the list is build and expand your connections.
And, thinking about it, I've learned so much from people in my own network over the years. But I got to be honest, sometimes the whole networking thing,
Right.
it feels very, I don't know, like forced.
Yeah. Very transactional.
Yeah, transactional. Like I'm just trying to get something from this person or
Exactly.
use them for something.
Yeah. No, and the source material definitely emphasizes that it shouldn't be like that at all. It's about building genuine connections with people. Not just like collecting business cards at a networking event, but like finding people that you have shared interests with, people that can offer a fresh perspective, and really focusing on building those relationships.
I love that. So it's not just about who you know. It's about the quality of those connections.
Exactly.
Which makes me think of, I don't know if you've heard of this, but there was this study that found that people with strong social connections actually tend to live longer and healthier lives. It's pretty wild.
That's amazing.
It's not just, a nice thing to have. It's actually like crucial for our well-being.
It's essential. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, too, having those strong connections can help us with that next practice on the list, which is to break patterns. stop old behaviors that don't lead you to your goals.
Oh, yeah.
Because, if you're
Yeah.
surrounded by people who are, supportive and encouraging,
Your support system.
it makes it a little easier to break free from those bad habits.
Absolutely. And speaking of bad habits, I think a lot of us struggle with this one.
Oh, tell me about it. I mean, procrastination,
Oh,
the ultimate challenge,
the
right?
so does this piece offer any like practical advice for how to actually break those bad habits? Because I'm all ears if they do.
Yeah, well, they really emphasize the importance of understanding your triggers.
Mm-hmm.
So what are those situations or emotions that lead you to those unwanted behaviors?
Mm.
Once you can identify them, then you can start to develop strategies for disrupting that pattern. And one technique that they mentioned is something called habit stacking. So basically attaching a new desired habit to an existing one.
Mm.
So, habit stacking. Okay.
Yeah. So for example, if you have a habit of, reaching for your phone first thing in the morning, maybe you can try stacking a quick meditation session onto your morning coffee routine.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so it's just about like finding ways to make those small deliberate changes and then being consistent with them. And this is where, we kind of circle back to the importance of reviewing your to-do list
Right.
because it can be a really helpful way to kind of track those changes, celebrate the wins when you successfully break a pattern, and then also to course correct when needed. So, if you fall off track, no big deal. Just look at your to-do list, see where you can make adjustments, and keep moving forward.
So even if that 300% life upgrade is maybe a bit of a stretch, I'm starting to see how these 5 practices,
Yeah.
if we can actually put them into practice,
Mm-hmm.
could actually lead to some pretty significant improvement.
Absolutely. It's not about like these huge overnight transformations. It's about those small, consistent actions compounding over time. And I think that's really the key takeaway here.
I love that. So for those of you listening out there, which of these 5 practices really resonated with you? And what's one small step that you can take today
Yeah,
to start integrating it into your life? And remember, even if it's just a 10% improvement, that's still a step in the right direction.
absolutely.
So thanks for joining us for another deep dive,
Yeah, thanks everyone.
and we'll see you next time.
See ya.